Hello and welcome to another Travel Family Academy episode. My name is Marie and today we're going to be talking about what a realistic look at starting a mom brand or a personal brand on Instagram in 2024 looks like. travelfamilyacademy.com. Without further ado, why is 2024 the best time to jump in and start making money on Instagram? And realistically, what does that look like? Let's dive in. So I am sure if you're watching this, you've thought about becoming a creator, you thought about doing content, but then you're like, well, I don't know, there are a lot of people out there doing this. Is this for me? Am I going to be able to do it? Do I have what it takes? Am I cut out for this? Do I have the time? A million questions. And they're all pointing at no. But I'm here to tell you that yes. And let me tell you why. So I started a new Instagram in 2017, another one in 2021, another one last year. And actually, the newer accounts have grown faster than all the older ones. So, when people tell me, oh, it's too saturated, it's just too played out, there are too many people, I always laugh because I've seen the opposite results. And I think the reason for that is that I've become more specific about who I speak to on the platform. And I think that is the secret sauce for becoming a successful content creator and developing your own brand in 2024. So content creation is not going anywhere. If anything, it's going to continue growing in popularity because who doesn't want to make a living from who they are? Who doesn't want to make a living from just showcasing the things they care about or the things they find fascinating? And there are a lot of people out there who think that in order for you to make a living out of Instagram, out of social media, out of the internet, you need to be a coder, have a degree, work 85,000 million hours a week, but none of that is true because I don't do any of those things. So I am here to sort of debunk all of that and show you what the path I would take would be if I was starting from zero in 2024. First of all, the most important thing is to be specific about who you're talking to. A lot of us get caught up in what's trending, what's popular, who's making money. And what we don't realize is that every time you look at something online, the algorithms of almost every search engine, every platform out there is designed to show you more of that. So let's say you decide to become a mom with pets, then the algorithm is going to show you all the moms out there that have pets. And so what happens is you start seeing everybody doing that. And of course, they're better than you because they've been doing it for 5 years and they have more beautiful dogs and a farm and you only live in an apartment and they're so much better. You're never going to succeed. Don't even try, right? This is the path that we go through. But the reality is that there's nobody out there like you. And I know when we were little, everybody told us that and you're special because nobody is you, but it really is true. Nobody is you. Nobody talks the way you talk. Nobody has had your experiences. Nobody has an identical livelihood to yours. And therefore, there are bound to be out of the billions of people on this planet, some other probably thousands, if not millions of people that can relate to you, that would rather learn something from you than Nancy, or that would rather spend 20 minutes watching your content than somebody else's. And so now more so than ever, it is absolutely the best time to jump online and make a brand that grows with who you are, which is why we're so big on creating a mom brand and then make money out of that. And when we say mom brand, it could be a woman brand. It could be a plant brand. We say mom brand because it's what works for us. We wanted to make a living out of being with our kids. We wanted the priority to be life with our kids. And so how do we do that, right? There's a million ways to do that within that same realm of mom. But if you are a mom and you don't want to do anything with your kids, you still don't have to, but it might be useful to still connect to other moms. If you're a mom, you already know that it's not the same talking to somebody that has all the hours in the day than somebody who has a few hours. So if you're teaching anything to a group of moms, it's going to be different than if you're teaching anything, the same anything, to a group of non-moms. I hope that makes sense as to why a mom brand. But as you grow into who you want to become after giving birth, into your rebirth, your renaissance, Sorry, I went somewhere. If you are starting your new chapter of womanhood with motherhood in it, but still being you and you're still trying to figure out what it is that you love and what you want to do, you should still be getting paid to do it. Even if that something is a hobby, and even if that something is not something that's permanent. And I'll explain a little bit more into that on other videos as well. If you have any questions on that particular subject and how you can get started on that, drop them in the comments. We'll make sure we come back and answer them. And if you're interested in starting a mom brand, but you really don't know how to get started, I really invite you to check out our freebie. It's going to be in the link below. It's a mini guide that helps you decide your niche, your category, the person you're speaking to, and it has over 300 different ideas for mom niche Instagram topics that you can have. And this is for people that have already a business but want to transition online, for moms that don't want to show their face, for moms that don't want to show their kids, for moms that want to travel, for moms that just want to show hobbies. I mean, really 300 plus ideas. So it's free. Check out the link below. Here's what I would do if I was starting from zero. I would get really specific about who I was talking to. There are so many people talking about things we all enjoy, like fashion, kids, Montessori. Get specific. Montessori what? Montessori at home, Montessori while traveling, Montessori in the woods, Montessori in 1,000 hours outside. Get specific about which specificity in the Montessori realm you want to get to. And I know this may seem really niche, but the more you do that, the easier it will be for somebody that's looking for just that thing to connect with you over anybody else. The second thing I would do is I would actually become really consistent. So a lot of people, when they start, they look at what somebody else is doing and they think, I want to do that too. So Mireille is posting 3 times a day. I'm going to do that too. But Mireille does this full time, right? And I work full time, plus I have a baby, plus a husband who works nights. How am I going to do this? So it's really important at the beginning to be consistent about what you're posting, who you're talking to, and who you are online. It's sort of like when you start a friendship. It's really hard to make friends with someone that you see one day and then don't see for a month and then see again one day and then call them the next week, but then sort of leave town for 3 months. That's a friendship that's hard to build. That's better to maintain when you have a longtime friend. But when you're starting out, you need to be consistent. So get really clear about what's feasible for you. Is it 3 times a week? Is it 4 times a week? Is it once a week, right? Whatever it is, get specific. The third thing I would do is I would create a strategy. So many of us are just starting out and trying out. And so we get online and we repeat trends. We look for popular songs. We see what everybody else is doing and we think, I want to do that too. But it's so much harder, which is why people don't do it, but so much more valuable to stop and think, what is it that I want from this app? If you're a brand new mom and you only have, and this is your first child, maybe you're a little bored, like at 2 a.m. when you can't go back to sleep and you're breastfeeding, but chances are your hands are still full. And if you're looking for something online to monetize your livelihood, your motherhood, to make money online, you're not looking at it as a hobby. So don't treat it as a hobby. Do not look for, oh, I'm just going to post cute baby videos and see what happens, because the likelihood of that going viral and you making money out of it are so far-fetched. Whereas if you create a content strategy based on what you want out of the app, it's going to be a lot easier for you to stay the course, know where you're headed and what you have to do to get there. For example, let's say that you want to be partnering with brands by Christmas and it's July. Then you want to start partnering with which kinds of brands? Baby brands, because you will have a 3-month-old baby by then. So I want to become a lifestyle influencer within the babyhood arena, and I want to be partnering with brands by December. So then you start looking at brands you want to partner with, see what kind of content they have, what kind of content they're seeking, what kind of creators they work with, and you try to mimic that based around what your interests are, who you are, what your baby will be, if it's a girl, if it's a boy. Do you want to do lifestyle? Do you want to do more fashion? Do you want to do more poems because you're a writer? Do you want to showcase more simple motherhood? Do you want to just do real motherhood? Do you want to showcase simple life or recycling or eco-friendly? I mean, there's a million things you can do, right? But if you know where you're headed, and where you're headed is that in 6 months, you want to partner with brands that pay you to showcase their clothing on their baby, on their 6-month-old babies, it's a lot easier to create content that's going to attract those people if that's your only goal than if you're just creating pregnancy content and seeing where that goes, right? So it's always a lot easier to know where you're headed and then work backwards from that than if you start sort of shooting in all directions and seeing if something sticks. The fourth thing I would do is I would learn my analytics. So many creators think that going on Instagram is a popularity contest of like, let's see how impressive I can make this and see if it sticks. When the reality is that Instagram, just like every other social media, is a perfect balance between art and science. The art part, you likely have it with you by just showcasing who you are and being creative and practicing and just doing more of that and getting more comfortable with sharing, your art will come through. But the science part, is the part that people usually forget to look at. And it's what really can help you grow so much faster. By learning your analytics and seeing what the Instagram algorithm is doing on each category, you can really get smart about what kind of content deserves more attention. Let's say that you're posting this beautiful carousel of edited photos that you and your family recreate every single month, and you spend 10 hours editing it because it looks like you have this castle behind, but then you're seeing that it only gets 10 likes and it's been 3 months and it's still getting only 10 likes. And then you're seeing that you post these little videos of your baby just doing tummy time with their toys. And you're seeing all these comments and all these things. Like, obviously there's an interest on that. And both of them are displaying your family or a part of your life that you enjoy. Obviously, I'm just throwing an example out there. But one of them is clearly performing better. A lot of times we get clouded with what we think we like to do. And we don't have a vision on who our audience is and what she needs to know. Which brings me to my next point. I would get really, really, really clear on who it is that you're speaking to. It does not matter if you know what you want to do if you don't know who you're doing it for. So when you're posting content online, yes, of course, you're posting pictures of your children because they're beautiful and you love them, or you're posting pictures of your, let's say, travels because you love traveling and it just fulfills your soul. But unless somebody's your mother or your significant other, they don't really care about you traveling or your baby or the outfit you found cute or your makeup routine, right? The only person who's going to find that interesting is a person like you who has a similar interest on that topic and that needs help to achieve something you already have. And that could be something so simple like you are 6 months pregnant and you're helping people in the first trimester. So people don't have to be 3 years behind you. They could literally be simultaneous to you. But the fact that you're sharing knowledge or your journey as you learn the knowledge, right? As you become the expert on a field that's of interest to others and that could be beneficial for them is what will make you connect to other people. The next thing, obviously, is be really real. A lot of us have this, again, it's the imposter syndrome in us. We go online, we see people with millions of followers and we want to do what they're doing. But that's what gets them to 1 million followers, right? If you had 1 million friends because you were pretending to be somebody you were not, those wouldn't be your friends and it wouldn't be fun hanging out with them. So that's a really good way to put it, except for now add your financial livelihood in it as well, right? You don't want to create another job that you hate. You don't want to create another circumstance where you have to show up however many hours a week to do something you don't love doing. Because the idea here is that you create something you love doing so that you can spend more time enjoying life, right? And less time sort of doing things you don't like to do. Get really specific about what you love and make sure that it's really you doing that, right? So this is a really uncomfortable one and one that almost none of us get right on the first go because the tendency is always to try to do what somebody else is doing. But the clearer you get about who you are and why you want to say what you want to say, the more you become about it, if that makes any sense, the more likely you are to find other people that find that attractive because that's how we relate to one another, right? We don't make friends with people that are just weirdly acting like someone else. So be you, show up consistently, be specific about what you're talking about and who you're talking to, and have fun in the process. If you'd like to know more about how to develop your own brand online, more tips on how to make money on Instagram, make sure you subscribe below. We are the Travel Family Academy and my name is Marae, and thank you so much for watching today.